Hi, in this video I'm going to show you a trick that's going to save you a ton of time while writing and testing your game. Now, one of the things about game testing is that it's tedious and you have to try the same thing over and over and over again. In a text-based game, that becomes doubly tedious because you have to sit there, type north, 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 take north, east, east, kill troll, west, take gold, right? You have to take this thing over, type it over and over and over again. It gets really aggravating. So let me show you a way you can not do that. You can save yourself a whole lot of pain. Also, it makes your project easy for me to grade. And so let's go look at that. So here's Lantern. Let me load one of my projects. And there we go, there's my project. Now, let's say I want to verify that this game works. I could sit here and I could say, okay, assuming I know my commands here, take note, read note, north, east, south. Like, I have to type this, sequence of like 30 commands, over and over and over again, just to test that thing at the end, right? That's really slow and tedious and horrible. But let me show you how to do that, or how to get around that. There is a place here, this testing tab. If you go here, you can put in the complete walkthrough for your game. What you do is you just type in each command that the player needs to type, separated by a comma. So you can see take note, comma, read note, comma, north, comma, east, comma, south, right? So here's the entire chain of commands that the player needs to type to win the game. Now, if you have anything where there's randomness, this won't work. Because you don't know how that particular playthrough of the game is going to work out. Also, if you are asking the user for input, that is a problem in the terminal, because it'll pop up a little window when it asks you something. So at the very last command you have to enter a command. You have to type in the code for the radio. But you can still see how this works, right? So now, to get this command here, I can just click on the button, copy to the clipboard, and I can come over to the test terminal, and I can just right click and say paste. And look, there's all my commands right there, and hit enter. Boom. And now it's going to sit there. I just ran through all of them, and I can see that it's beep, enter the access code, right? And I can put in 6502 and click OK. Congratulations, I won the game, right? Wasn't that a whole lot easier for me to test my game, to make sure my game still worked, rather than typing all of that stuff? Also, when I grade your project, like, I'm going to look at this and I'm going to say, how complicated is this project? If this is just north, north, take gold, you win, well, that's like a D, right? Your project's got to have interactivity to it, right? Imagine somebody in 1983 had paid money for this game, right? And they're like, that's it, right? So you want something for the player to do, right? And that means commands that the player's got to type. Now, watch this. If I pull up the terminal window again and I hit cheat, look, there it is. It pulls up that entire series of commands, and now I can just take that and should be able to copy it, right click and paste, and then hit enter, and it should run through the whole thing again. Now it's asking me for the code. I'll put in the code. All right, boom. There we go. So that will save you a ton of typing if you just realize that you can put in your entire walkthrough right there, separated by commas, and then click the button and paste it into the terminal and hit enter, right? So now imagine you just want to get halfway through your game so you can fight the troll or whatever, then just put in half the walkthrough, right? Or put in a different walkthrough, right? If you've got different test cases, put them here. That's all there is to it. So doesn't that save you a ton of work? Yes, it does. It also makes your project easy for me to grade, as I said before. In fact, if your project doesn't have a walkthrough, like, I'm just not going to grade it, because I don't have time to sit there and map out your entire game and play hunt the verb and guess what, guess the plot, right? So, so that's another reason to have this. And then also, look at this. Oh my gosh, that looks just like the design document that we filled out like two weeks ago. So that whole thing of like, what does the player do, right, is now has been sort of turned into commands that the player is going to type, or actions the player is going to carry out in order to win, right? That was the whole purpose of the design document, was to get you to this, so you have a walkthrough, or a, kind of a turbo cheat, a speed run kind of thing. So you could easily test your game. All right, well, that's it. So I hope you find that useful. Make sure your game has a walkthrough, and that will make your life a whole lot easier.